Okay, gonna make chocolate chip cookie dough. This is the basic cookie dough that can be experimented in many ways, but we're gonna make something very popular, chocolate chip cookie dough, and I'll tell you about some other things you can do with it. Right now I have 3 sticks of unsalted butter. That's very important. 3 sticks unsalted butter, and it needs to be room temperature. I had it in the wrap and put it in the microwave for maybe 10-12 seconds, just where I can squeeze it a little bit and it's nice and soft, and that'll make life a lot easier for you. So you put that in your bowl, and into that we have 8 ounces or a cup of light brown sugar, and then we have 8 ounces or a cup of granulated sugar. That light brown sugar is going to be a little bit more than a cup because you have to squish it down to get the, anyway, 8 ounces, 1 cup. All right, and so you have the butter, light brown sugar, and the granulated sugar, and then to that we add 1 teaspoon of salt. All right, and you put your paddle on. There's your mixer, and just get it going slowly so it doesn't fly out the bowl. And then turn that speed up a good bit. You want to get it nice and fluffy. Don't really need the fancy mixing bowl. This can also be done by hand, but I love the mixing bowl and it makes things easier. Okay. Crank that up just a little bit. And get nice light consistency as such. Very important in baking to always scrape the bowl as you go along, whether or not it's a cake batter, a brownie, cookie dough, something that doesn't get mixed up properly. Okay. So scrape the bowl. And put the bowl back on. Raise it again. I'm going to put it on low speed. Again, this mixture here is 3 sticks or 12 ounces of unsalted room temperature butter. 8 ounces or 1 cup of granulated sugar. 8 ounces or 1 cup of light brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now to that mixture we're going to add 2 large eggs and 1 yolk. I personally like to add the yolk. Adds a nice richness to the cookie dough or any other batter that you might be making. The egg yolks makes things very rich. I'm going to add it kind of slow so it doesn't separate. 1 egg at a time. I'm going to turn up the speed a little bit and go with another egg. Let that mix in. And add the rest of your egg. Hello, Kelsey. We're making cookie dough. And we're going to let that blend together. Nice fluffy mixture. I'm going to turn it off, lower the bowl, I'll let you see. Okay. Nice creamy mixture here. I'm going to scrape around the bowl again. Very important. Okay. Now come the dry ingredients. Now I'm going to make chocolate chip cookies today, but this dough can be used for peanut butter cookies. You can add different ingredients like coconut, you can add nuts. Anytime you add a dry ingredient though, you need to back off the flour content a little bit. So if you were going to add a cup of coconut, maybe dial back a half a cup of that flour, but you can experiment with it. But this is the basic. This is a great cookie recipe. All right, so now we add the dry ingredients. This is 1 pound or 2 full cups of all-purpose flour. Okay, 1 pound or 2 full cups. Then you have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So I'm just gonna add that in there. And what I like to do is, for cake batters you need to sift it, but for this you really don't need to sift it. I'll just take a fork and kind of mix that up a little bit. Let's get a few of those lumps out. This is a thick dough, so those lumps will be crushed anyway, so no need to sift. Okay, good enough. Now we're just gonna dump all that into the mixing bowl. Low speed so you don't get flour in your face. And all you need to do is incorporate. Do not need to mix it fully. We'll turn it up just a little bit, speed things up. Okay, let's see what I've done here. I'll show you. That is still a big, messy blob. It's not really even mixed together, and you just don't need to, and I'll show you why. Last, the most popular ingredient, chocolate chips. All right, for these cookies, don't go cheap. Get Nestle or get a good brand. I use 2 sizes, semi-sweet for sure, but I use the regular size, and I also use the minis, and I mix them up. That way when you bite into the cookie, there's just gooey chocolate no matter what bite you take, and you're never short on chocolate. So as far as measurements go, you really can't add too much. It's however much chocolate you like. So I got a, let's see, what is this, a 12-ounce bag of the regular size. I'm gonna dump in, well, I'll just dump in the whole thing. So we'll say for this one 12-ounce bag of semi-sweet morsels. Then I have the minis, and I'm just going to pour maybe half of that bag in. That's a lot of chocolate, but it blends in well. And maybe a little bit more. Can't hurt it. Okay. Set those aside. And mix slowly. It will all come together. And that is it. No need to mix anymore. I'm gonna push this back out of the way. Take our spatula, get all this good dough off of the paddle. Alright, we'll let the kids eat that part. Kelsey, you want this cookie dough?
Yes!
Hang on, there'll be more. Okay.
I do.
Alright, and we're just going to kind of stir that up, maybe a little bit in the bowl that hasn't quite been mixed, or a little bit of flour on the edge. Just stir it up. That's it. That is your chocolate chip cookie dough. I'll take some. Give that to the kids. Okay. Alright, and now I'm going to wrap this cookie dough and put it in the refrigerator. It probably needs to be in the fridge for a good hour, get nice and solid, and then we'll bake it off. If you bake it off while it's still room temperature, cookies tend to spread a little bit too much. So we will continue in a little bit, and I'll show you how to bake it, because that is part of the secret. I've given this cookie dough recipe out many times. And most times people burn them, cook them too much, they're not gooey, they're just not what they're used to getting when I make them. So I'll show you here how to do it for now, refrigerate it, and we will continue.